Hello one, hello all, it's the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of JPEG Mafia, I Lay Down My Life for You, Director's Cut. JPEG Mafia, rapper, singer, producer, JPEG Mafia, extraordinary rapper, extraordinary artist, is back, sort of, with a brand new, sort of, album, as this is a deluxe version of his fantastic record that he released last year that I reviewed very positively. You should check that out. As he kept things bold, engaging, exciting, honestly his most structured, conventional work yet. Very instantaneous, hard-hitting hooks, very guitar-centric too, very guitar-centric and rock-centric album JPEG has ever put out, and it went over really well. I thought he did it very creatively. I thought he did it very tastefully, very hard-hitting, very effectively. Like, the whole vibe feels insanely cinematic, which only makes sense that he would release a director's cut version of this record, because due to how movie-like and cinematic that record felt, I feel Director's Cut is a very fitting and appropriate title for the deluxe edition of this. And due to the fact that JPEG Mafia has had this album, or the prior album, the original release of this record, worked on for a while, in the works for a while, it only makes sense that he would have tracks that didn't make it. But I'm honestly curious why. I mean, I kind of understand why. It would have made for a very long record, as this thing is really over an hour. But this deluxe version is a great deluxe version. It's not just a bunch of haphazardly slapped together tracks that were just thrown on there for the sake of streams. No, this was actually a very solid inclusion. And due to the fact that we are kind of seeing a trend of artists putting together deluxe versions of their work, such as Jessie Ware, or even Scaring the Hose with Danny Brown, JPEG Mafia, with the EP of that, which was leftovers from their Scaring the Hose LP, great LP, along with the Jessie Ware project. And they're really putting care into this. Like, the only reason why this was cut, I believe, is for duration purposes. I don't think they wanted to give the listener too much to handle at once. And quite honestly, I get the same level of enjoyment of a handful of these bonus tracks as I did the original tracks on the original record. Like, the riffs are still on point. Also, the experimental bits, the sample usage, Take the Teaser, Protect the Cross, which features these crashing cymbals, massive drum hits, various guitar layering, that has these chords that go to wailing, to sinister, also with a lot of distortion too, that goes into this ultra epic dramatic finish. And Peggy's litany of deliveries here really go from aggressive to chill back to attack mode. Like, it really shows his versatility here. Like, on this record, or even the original, he really continues the calm before the storm type of ethos that he brings here. And the instrumentation here is fantastic. It really does blow the monotonous, generic rap metal out of the water from like the late 90s and 2000s. Like, JPEG Mafia really breathes new life into that because it stands out from that. And this type of energy, it's really nothing new from JPEG. He's always been very charismatic. He's always been full of personality. And with the experimental rap albums that he's put out before, which are great, I feel that rock star, that metal artist, that hardcore artist has always been in here, but now that he's including the guitar chords, the rap metal inclusions, it's really fitting. Like, I really do feel, going back, that was actually indicative to what we were gonna expect next. So these guitar-driven tracks, absolutely a perfect match for him. And I do think there are some songs here, while harsh, while unhinged, I do wish the structures were better here and didn't really drift off or sound unfinished. Jordan Rules comes to mind. Like, I feel like due to the unconventional tracks here and the conventional tracks here, it really does pale in comparison to the better cuts here. But also I feel like lyrically he is kind of backtracking, like we've already gotten the best of that subject matter on other tracks. So I feel like it was more of what instrumental can I put this to, what song can I put this to, and honestly I think they fit better on like tracks such as On and Off the Drugs, or the closer of the original for that matter. And here in many respects we have a continuation, a sequel if you will, to the track with Vince Staples' New Black History, and that track being Cult Status, as if you recall there was a very dense, thick, high-pitched, very noisy, very almost twittering feel to that track, to the end of that track, very like metallic, very loud, very crushing, like a very thick wall of sound with a lot of distortion to it, a lot of static. And Peggy was like, no, that part is fire. Let's not let that go to waste. Let me actually give that a life of its own. Let me actually do a continuation of that track. Let me finish that track. Let me kill that track. Which he definitely did. Like, if you know Peggy, he's not gonna let a very low-end, staticky, distorted track go to waste. He's not gonna do that. Like, it sounds so messy, but it's so fire at the same time. There's something that reminds me of, like, 90s, early 2000s East Coast rap, with the inclusion of clipping. And he starts off with like these Redman-like barks. And although this album, this cut is loaded with a lot of bonus tracks, these tracks were definitely treated with a lot of care, a lot of attention to detail. Because the sequencing here is fantastic. The flow of this record is fantastic. Like, it seems like it could have fit the original perfectly, as the title track of this record transitions fantastically into Boy You Should Know. That has these Ghost Town DJs vocal sample bits mixed with these female moaned R&B samples to these pumping guitar chords, bright organs. You're also getting occasional break beats as well, and the production just goes into various endings that goes from very grimy to bassy to very ethereal and wintry. Like, oddly enough, I could picture maybe a Wu-Tang member on this, maybe like Ghostface. Like, something about this gives almost Ghostface to me in a way, but still remains in Peggy's wheelhouse. This doesn't really sound very foreign to him. Like, Peggy is just proving how much of a effortless chameleon he is to this sonic landscape that he gives us. Like, it's just surreal. Or even like when he's rapping to himself, like he's really doing something that reminds me of a DMX type scenario, a Slick Rick type scenario, where he's rapping but he's having this chemistry with himself, or himself but pretending to be another person, like a back and forth. And things go into a more dreamy and serene direction on the track Allah, that has these stunningly beautiful psychedelic guitar solos that have these almost dubby effects to them that goes into these pounding bass hits, and a beautifully auto-tuned vocal sample from Lil Durk, which I believe is Pellicoat, that breaks into this preacher segment over this wall of distortion. But the distortion here is just so blissful. What the hip-hop hell is this? Which is not only a hilarious refrain, but also built with a lot of sonic inclusions that I just can't get enough of, like this futuristic analog bass with various vocal samples, from the pitch down to chipmunk, from these pitch down vocals to these chipmunk soul samples, laced in with these neo soul piano bits. Not to mention how fed up and aggravated Peggy sounds here, as he's really throwing criticisms to the cliches and the shortcomings of hip-hop artists today. Not saying the whole genre is in peril, because it's not, but Peggy's just calling out criticisms as he sees them, as he incrementally sees them. Another track I want to mention is the track Come and Get Me, that has these very dramatic and melodic moments that I think go over phenomenally well. Like, I feel with how epic this track is, and how the weeping strings along with the booming bass, it really coalesces well and really complements Peggy's conviction here, just his way to adapt to these tracks here, to these instrumentals, as he goes from these aggressive to deep vocals to these very passionate melodic moments. Like, it's so excellent here, like with his penmanship, his production, his melodies. Like, do we really need Drake at this point? Like, a rapper who could rap his ass off, kill it in that style, have something to say, something prominent to say, and also have catchy melodic vocals. Do we really need Drake? Is Drake really necessary? There's also the multifaceted monster BLOODLINE freestyle, which is a demo that is just so well put together, as he's just killing it from one transition to the next, going half rapped, half sung. Just like on the original release, Peggy knows how to immerse himself in this production, in these type of tracks. And even when the guitar solo kicks in, he really knows how to become one with it. He culminates well with it, as he's rapping about staying on top of his game, calling out his adversaries. And due to the fact that there's a lot of rappers who are ripping him off, a lot of styles that are derived from his style, he geniusly says like how, due to the fact that a lot of these rappers are sounding like him, that he feels like a father, as these are like other versions of him. As far as tracks I have the biggest gripe with, I would say it's the single version of Don't Rely on Other Men, which, yes, I didn't really care for on the release of the single version. I didn't really care for that one. I didn't think it was as well structured or exciting as the album version. Like, it's just so much better. It's so much better crafted. Like, the drums are tighter, the mix is better, it's well structured. But yeah, I'm honestly satisfied with this director's cut edition. Like, he continues to show how adventurous he is, how personal he is on these tracks, and he's giving us more attributes, more bangers, again, great deep cuts, giving us that fire that we already had. So yeah, overall, great deluxe edition, great director's cut edition. It really goes to show that sometimes when records have songs that are cut or tracks that didn't make the cut, doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. I mean, in this case, I just think they didn't want them overloading the record, but honestly, I think it would have added more to it. And honestly, wouldn't have brought the LP down at all. The transitions are fantastic. The flow of this record is great. Like, Peggy is continually creative, versatile. I think he's really adding more excitement for the listener, because his flows are killer, delivery has a lot of precision, his culmination of his cadence to these instrumentals is fantastic, the bars are very thoughtful, and he's also being introspective as well, and hasn't toned down his experimental edge at all, really. He's actually adding to it, and he's adding to it with great various guitar inclusions, hard-hitting drums, more experimental cuts, great transitions, creative usage of sound, and who knows where he's gonna go from here. I'm feeling a 4 out of 5 black hearts on this. If you've given this a listen, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? That's it. I am your plug. Show me love. Hit me with a sub. Hit me with a comment, even if it's some nonsense. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, JPEG Mafia, I lay down my life for you, director's cut. Till we meet again.